This is the battery charging set I've been using for years. Well, at least the charger, obviously not the batteries. And I despise this thing. And if you have one, you probably hate it too. This one's a Panasonic, but it works just like all the rest. You flip down this thing, stick it in the wall, realize you need that outlet space for something else, pull this back out, forget about it. Remember you got rechargeable batteries, go to get them and realize they're not even charged again. And that's when you don't already have them in use anyways and you realize you need more than 4. So what are you gonna do? Buy more of these? The whole system sucks. This is the OLight Ostation X, and it is the solution to all your charging battery problems. This is one of my favorite new devices I've ever worked with, and it's so simple and practical. It's stupid that someone hasn't done this already. So what makes the Ostation so great? Well, it's just this really simple concept. It's a giant frickin' battery charger. It can handle up to 32 batteries. Okay, it charges just 4 at a time. But you see this big space here and this big space down here? That's where you stick all the batteries. It's as simple as open this up, drop one in, and it starts working on charging that battery. Load up as many as 32 batteries in this top portion and it will work through them 4 by 4 until it gets them all charged and drops them all at the bottom. And when you're ready, you've used a straw dispenser before, right? Tap that and one comes out. It's frankly beautiful. And what I really like about this, by the way, is how easy it is to use. I mean, okay, yeah, you drop it in the top, right? But you're probably wondering to yourself, Josh, batteries have polarity. With my little stupid dinky charger, I've got to stick it in the right way, just like when I put it in the gadget. You don't with this. Here is the positive this way. Here is the positive this way. And it's going to work either way. It doesn't matter how you stick it in, as long as it fits in there, it will charge it. But my favorite part about this is that you don't have to use OLight's batteries. This is one of the Panasonic batteries from that charger set I showed you earlier, and it charged this just fine. Now, OLight does sell batteries for this, and even a 32-pack variety just for this, but you don't have to use them. You don't have to buy them, or at least buy all of them. If you already have some, use them. The only limit is they must be nickel metal hydride, NIMH, batteries. They can't be lithium rechargeable batteries. Charging time depends on a couple of options. You can load an app to this. Don't. But you can, and you can switch it between fast charge and slow charge. And again, don't. Slow charge will make your batteries run longer or degrade less fast, I should say. And you should probably do that. Now, if you absolutely need batteries as fast as possible, load up that app and go ahead and turn on fast charging and you will get through the batteries faster. I did that just to get through this initial set. I'll never do it again. In part because you should know this, the app is trash. The app is a glorified flashlight store, because that's what OLight is, a flashlight company who's just working on batteries for their flashlights. It kind of makes sense. All that gets you when you connect to this is the ability to switch between fast and slow charge and to see how the batteries are charging, whether or not they're running into any problems at the moment. But that doesn't really matter. Honestly, it doesn't matter if the batteries are charging well at the moment or not, because this thing already has hardware baked in to take care of that. You don't really need the app at all at the end of the day. When you do have a battery that's having an abnormal charge for some reason, whether it's because the contacts are dirty or because the battery itself is degraded to the point it should be tossed, it won't end up in this bottom container. This thing has a set of arms in here that shoot up and catch a bad battery and eject them into this little guy right here. Actually, I've got a few in right now. It does seem to be a little on the finicky side. These are OLight batteries that I got with this system, and brand new, fresh out of the box, having never been charged before in theory. I think about 15 of these came back as bad and got ejected into this little drawer, which is just a push and an open. And that would be really, really bad if it weren't for the fact that all I had to do was just rub it on my shirt a little bit and try again. And then it came through the second time. I'm not sure what the algorithm is. This is just fun, by the way. It's like Plinko. I'm not sure what the algorithm is that decides whether or not something is charging abnormally, but at least it lets you know. And you'll eventually know when a battery is bad and you can get rid of it, which is another great benefit over the stupid chargers that we usually use, because you end up with bad batteries that can no longer charge and you have no idea until you try to use them. And then you're out of luck because you need to go buy more batteries. This means you have plenty of batteries, more than you could ever need, up to 32 in a way, and they're ready for you when you need them. Because frankly, you probably seldom, if ever, need 32 batteries at once, right? So when you do need one, you can just get one, or two, or three, or four. There are some quick problems we should talk about with this though. Firstly being, this is a AA system only at the moment. OLight is working on a AAA system, but it's not ready yet, it's not out yet, and I can't tell you if it's any good. Secondly, technically, in a way, I can't say if this one's any good because all I've had to do is charge the batteries and use them some. There's no way I've had enough time to really fully run the batteries through their cycle and make sure that they charged correctly to be good. Now, even if they came out bad, that could be the batteries themselves and not the charger system. So that's kind of hard to discuss anyways. Now there's also some repairability questions with this. This is a USB-C device, but it is still an electronic device. You can take this apart a little bit. Slap on here and the whole top comes off, which is kind of nice. Now I have access to these batteries that I've already put into here as well. And you can take the bottom drawer out when you want to. Now this can be a little bit more tricky. I found the best thing to do is push a battery in and then you can kind of get to the drawer and maybe drag it out. It's not super great. And this bottom can come off with a couple of screws right here. But the internals are the part that matters. And I can't tell you what repairing this is like. Now I saw this guy at CES and they did have a transparent version of this on display, just something to show it off. But even that was kind of opaque because of the components themselves. I couldn't tell you what it went into, say, the arms that grab bad batteries, the connecting units and so forth. And I don't know that anyone's taken one of these apart. So if this goes bad, I don't know how you fix it or if you can. And that is a bit of a concern for me. But the same can be said of a lot of battery chargers, but most battery chargers are kind of cheap. This is not. The OLight Ostation X is $120, and that price doesn't include any of the rechargeable batteries at all. Those are extra. I will give them points for including a USB-C cord and the brick to plug it into the wall, but that is still a lot of money to spend for what is a little bit of electronics and plastic and okay, some smarts in there to make sure it's charging the batteries correctly, but nonetheless, that's a lot of money to spend compared to just buying a 4 battery charger with batteries, by the way. And if you want the 32 battery promise, then you're going to spend a lot more along the way because rechargeable batteries aren't necessarily that cheap. Now, you will save money in the long run versus buying AA's, but you could say the same thing about buying a traditional system. The big benefit here though is if you wanted to have 32 rechargeable batteries, either you're going to have a whole lot of chargers all around your house, each plugging in just 4 batteries, or you're going to have a bunch of batteries not currently charging and not stored well. I mean, what are you going to do? Stick it in a drawer? This at least is your storage unit and charger all in one. But that's not even counting the fact that once again, this is AA only. You're going to have to buy a AAA system too if you want that. Again, I want to give OLight some props here though. If you look at the back, there are 2 USB spots on here, and that is a smart move on their part. What they've done is made this so that it will daisy chain with a second O station. So if you have the AA and the AAA, you only need to take up 1 outlet spot. And if you have a traditional battery charging system, you need one for the AA and another for the AAA, and a lot of them can't be plugged in side by side, so you have to go to totally different rooms or totally different outlets depending on the configuration of your house. This is a lot easier in some ways. It's also, well, a lot more bulky by the time everything's said and done. That is a thing you'll want to think about as you consider this. This takes up a good bit of space. Even though it does hold all your batteries, you have to think through, where where am I going to put all of these? Where am I going to put this thing? Where am I going to put it that has convenient access to an outlet? What am I going to do to make it all fit? Now, it's not that big, but it is big enough that you have to ask yourself that question. And I don't hold that against OStation either. This is a matter of physics. They want to be able to say you can charge up to 32 batteries and hold it up to 32 batteries, so they've got to have enough space for, well, 64 batteries essentially. Plus the big charging system in the middle with the ejectee drawer, it just takes up room. That's unfortunately really not super avoidable. Nonetheless, I think overall, this is a great little system because it's just plain practical. I went to CES not that long ago and I saw smart glasses and solar cars and giant TVs and robots, and a lot of it really wasn't that practical. Do you need a 98-inch TV? Okay, I have a 100-inch TV in my house. It's pretty awesome. Maybe you do need one, but you don't need one. But maybe you should want one. It's pretty awesome. Do you need robots roaming your house? It sounds great, but like, I don't know, the robot that picks up your sock, then what does it do with it? It puts it in a basket over there. That doesn't seem that great. This is a simple, easy to understand, practical product that solves a real problem. So much so that when I've shown it to relatives and family and friends who normally despise useless gadgets, they immediately got this and wanted one and asked me where they could get it and how much it cost, and they weren't even that thrown by the $120 starting price. A little bit, but not that much, because they understood the value prospect of this. I still have lots of questions. This sliding drawer up top seems like it's going to break someday, and maybe it'll just have to forever be permanently open, which does protect from dust, so that might be bad. But I don't know. Sometimes what you really want with a brand new product is something that is simple, something that is practical, something that really does solve an everyday problem that you face. I want to use rechargeable batteries because I do care about the environment around me, and I don't like buying batteries all the time. It's both a value and a cost question. But up to now, rechargeable batteries have been more hassle than they are worth. This removes that barrier, and that makes it worth buying in my book. That's it for now, but hey, if you watched all the way to the end, you must have enjoyed something you saw, so please consider subscribing or joining my Discord. And until next time, bye!